What is up, guys? Welcome back to Conversation episode number 56. Today I have two very special guests. Once again, last week Jose was here by himself. This time he brought a friend. If y'all don't know who this guy is, definitely go check out his channel, Inspired Dreams.
Yes, sir.
His name is Sean Vasquez. Before we start, I want to, for the people that don't know him, kind of give a little bit about your background, your channel, and how they can find you and help you become more successful and help you achieve those dreams that we all want to live like Adam LZ.
Yeah. What's up, guys? I'm Sean Vasquez. I have a YouTube channel called Inspired Dreams with Jose. Jose is always mostly in our videos. Well, he's been in our videos quite a few. Same with Oscar. Um, I just went blank right now. But if you guys would like to check out the channel, Oscar should put a link right here.
Yes,
I
I
would
will. I
like
will.
Oscar to start putting more stuff into his videos. So go in the comments down below. Tell Oscar to put a link right here, and you can go and follow our channel. The channel is basically about it is about inspiring yourself to do your dreams, and anyone can do their dreams if you just put your mind to it and start working on it every day. We basically just work on like not domestics, but Japanese cars, and we just like showing people like you can work on your car, like even if you don't have that much car knowledge. YouTube, Google, forums, they have everything you need to know to work on your car. Yes, you might mess up, but it's always a trial and error with learning stuff. So
It's part of the process, right?
yeah, it's part
Yeah.
of the process. So
And now Apple and is making it so easy that you can put those
oh,
goggles on, and while as you're working your car, you don't have to be
yeah.
switching out. You can be watching a
I,
YouTube
yeah, I
video
saw
as
a
you're
video of that
working.
guy watching
Yeah.
work on his car. He's like,
Yeah.
and then doing yeah.
And you don't gotta worry about touching your screen with dirty hands.
Yeah.
It's just
Technology has came so far with this stuff. So yeah, but go check us out.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give y'all a lot of what we do. You just gotta find out by yourself by comment, subscribing, and following the channel.
And then go help him. He needs 25 more subscribes to get to 500, and let's try to get him there. Okay, so we're gonna go into some topics. For first topic, we want to get into is the solar eclipse. How many? First of all, comment down below if you got to see it. If you lived in Texas, you got to see pretty much the only day that was cloudy. Like right before the eclipse, perfect. A day of eclipse, cloudy all day. The next day, all good. So let us know if you watched it. I did myself. I don't know if y'all did, and what?
No.
I
No.
stepped
that work?
outside. I stepped outside for a little bit and saw it. And then
Did
went
you,
back
did you
inside.
buy the glasses, or you just kind
No.
of put like a welding filter?
I just looked at it.
Yeah.
He looked
Through
at
the
it
clouds?
Yeah, through the cloud. It wasn't bright. You can see the
Yeah.
eclipse through the
Oh,
clouds.
right. If you use your phone, you could actually see it really well too.
Yeah.
Your phone was able to pick it
Yeah.
up.
I don't know. It's just too cloudy that day. Couldn't really see it.
So-
I mean, it did get dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on lunch and it just got dark and I started falling asleep and I was like, I woke up and it was a little dark and I was like, oh shit, I overslept. But no,
It's the
it was
next
just
day.
It was the eclipse.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So, I sent Oscar a couple videos about the eclipse, and from the perspective of the video, it was pretty wild. Like, cause you know how eclipses
Oh,
are.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you get the sun and the moon, and they're
Yeah.
supposed to come
Yeah.
together. But like in the video, like where was the
You
moon?
can still see the moon like like at another place, and I've seen quite a bit of videos where they're like, you can see clearly the moon's on the left,
on the
and
left,
then
and then
the solar eclipse is happening.
Yeah.
So they're like, how is that
how,
possible?
yeah, how is that possible?
Yeah.
And then I think I sent Oscar another video, and then I think he told me that day that he saw that like it was about like the same video, but the guy was like, "Are the flat earthers true?"
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
like, and
Yeah.
then
He
the
was
guy
questioning.
then a guy cuts, and he's like basically telling us there's five layers
Yeah.
of
Well,
heaven,
There's 7.
or 7 layers of
Seven
heaven,
layers
and
of heaven.
basically each layer has like
Well, and based on the Bible, where it says that we are in a firmament where there's a dome over it.
Yeah.
And if you watch that video, you can see the eclipse, but then you see like three reflections of it in the past, and it's like the only way that could happen it was if you have like some kind of a dome over it. So it's like, what the heck is that? It's like, what is real? You know?
Well, yeah, it's
On another note of that is I saw one kind of like that, but it showed like an eclipse of the sun, and then it showed his lens having a lens flare, which
Yeah.
is like a
Yeah.
reflection of the sun, but On behind that was another one that wasn't part of it because with the lens flare, if you move the camera
Yeah.
around, that lens flare moves around. Like if you tilt the camera or the lens a certain way,
Yeah.
that flare will move back and forth. But the one that he was pointing to was it was standing still, and no matter where he moved it, it was in the same spot.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think I saw that one
And
too.
there's another one that I seen that there was two of them.
Yeah.
So there was the eclipse and then two other similar reflections, I guess you can say.
So what do you, okay, so let's say flat Earth isn't real. What's the reason? And we're just pretty much technicians.
This is
have
just
other
our
companies.
opinions.
Yeah, just
This
our
is our
opinions,
opinions.
just for entertainment
Yeah.
purposes. Like on the TikTok nowadays, everything's for entertainment purposes. But what do you think if we are in a dome? Okay, but if we're not, if we are in a globe, what's the reason that could happen? And you think, and our limited ability of
If-
the cosmos that we know.
How I see it is, if we're on a globe and said we were having a solar eclipse, I physically think it's impossible.
Yeah.
Just because, like, even if the sun is so many thousands or 100,000 miles away, but it's supposed to be the biggest star
in our
right in our galaxy
or
and
in our
solar system.
Solar system.
And we're supposed to be what, about like 4 planets away from the sun?
Three.
3?
Yeah, the
Okay.
third planet from the sun.
And their Earth is literally bigger than the moon, right?
Yes.
Bigger than Venus and
Yes.
Mars.
Yes.
So you're telling me this humongous star gets covered up by a
The moon?
small moon
Yeah.
that's not even as big as the Earth?
Well, that, and I heard a thing too, that the shadow of the moon when there is a full eclipse doesn't match the size that they say that
Yeah.
moon is.
Like, how I see it is, like, if the moon was in front of the sun, we would only get like a little shadow of the moon.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But when we do see like a real solar eclipse, they line up hand to hand perfectly
Yeah.
together, like they're literally right next to each other.
And
Do you-
another thing about that is you never see the moon pulling up.
Exactly.
Or-
exactly.
that was weird.
I've like
Even if it's
I
like
did see that video where it was like it like moved in a weird way, and then
Yeah.
a lot of people were saying that was Planet X. You know how they say that there's
yeah.
which I think is I saw this
Nibiru.
Nibiru, yeah, which is like a planet that visits us every 3,500 years, I believe. I could be
Something
wrong.
like
Every
that.
3,600 years.
But that's that's in the solar system
Yeah.
thing. But that wouldn't exist in I mean, it could exist in the
because planets,
planet Earth.
I believe that the other planets do exist, like celestial.
Well, yeah, you
but
remember,
like
you remember that video I sent you, and it showed the 7 heavens.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
had
yeah.
Saturn, Mars, and
yeah.
all them in the
Yeah.
different layers.
yeah.
So
Well, and then I also saw something that what do you call it? The people that study the universe, or not universe, the stars, or
astrophysics.
astrology.
they said that if anybody could do this, if it's a really dark night, especially like if you're up north, like when we were in Colorado, and you can see all those stars, because here there's too much light pollution,
Yeah.
and you leave a camera and you leave a time lapse. You actually see everything turning
rotate.
perfectly in a
Yes, it
perfect circle.
rotates. Yes.
And they said that is physically impossible unless you were perfectly due north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no matter where you are in the
yeah,
planet,
the
that
North
will
Pole.
happen.
So that's
so
how-
we're not moving.
Yes,
The skies are moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when you're going through school and you're learning all that things, they're saying that we're spinning around the sun, and all the other planets are spinning around the sun while the sun is
Moving
So
while the galaxy is moving,
Yeah.
while we're still moving away from expanding from the
So-
Big Bang.
So what you said wouldn't be able to
No.
that wouldn't be able to happen in a system like that.
That and also, why can you see all the constellations all the time year round? So like, for example, the sun is here, right, and the Earth is here. You shouldn't be able to see the stars that are over here,
Yeah,
but you
you
can
see it
everywhere. It doesn't matter when you're turning around. Like if it's, as we're turning around, we shouldn't be able to see what's on the opposite side of the Earth, the galaxy or whatever. But you can. So it's like, what's up with that?
Yeah,
you know?
it's I like me personally. I think the solar system thing is like
Well, that
complete
and then the
ass.
videos that are coming out of the people that are going to Antarctica and getting those glass shards that look like sapphires, but they're like this is part of the dome, to where like it goes down and they're like chipping at it and they can
Skyrock or
get
whatever it's called.
the skyrock.
Oh,
And it's like somewhere in the Bible it says that like it's blue like sapphire. I think it compares it. And when you look at them, dude, they look just like it. It's
Yeah.
like, man, that's crazy.
I honestly think it's real. Like, there's so many movies out there that hint
Yeah.
like that we're in a dome. Chicken Little. The sky is falling. You remember the
Oh,
little
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
kid
yeah,
that falls down? And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's crazy.
But let's get into the, I guess, transition into the topic of nothing happened in the eclipse, because there's a lot of people like, hey, go get water, go get, food, shelter.
Jose was telling me to cut a goat and put the blood on my
the
door,
door, yeah.
on
Like
my
on-
door
on-
because
on-
of
online.
The
religion.
biblical,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Supposedly it was supposed to be like the start of the 3 days of darkness. Or
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Stuff
Like,
like that.
for example, what happened in Egypt
Yeah.
during
Yeah.
Moses. Yeah.
that all those days lined up.
Well,
Yeah.
who's the firstborn out of y'all's family?
me.
So all three of us would be dead.
Yeah.
I'm the firstborn.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we
that's
would,
if you didn't mark your door.
yeah, if you
Yeah.
didn't mark your door, exactly. So, but maybe socks mark your door.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
protected you.
yeah.
He just peed all over.
But there was also those the news are talking about like the people's faces changing, like
Really?
being like there was like it was on TikTok, but it was on a news channel, and they were talking about like not to go to work and stuff, or like your energy would be drained, and then you'll start hallucinating and seeing like I guess they would say demons and it's like because their face would change and stuff like
Well,
that.
apparently CERN was doing some stuff during
Yeah,
that
I
time
heard about
too.
that too.
So they were like, whenever you're seeing the moon, they were saying that it wasn't the moon; it was actually like a portal opening. So
Yeah.
do you think portals are like you can go to a different dimension? Like if we are in a dome, are other beings in other dimensions that can be crossed, or are portals theoretically possible?
I don't know.
I don't know. I
I don't really know too much about that.
yeah.
Just like
Unless it's
anything else.
unless they're like trying to make a portal to get into a higher level.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Like-
saying. To
like-
get a level of consciousness.
Yeah, like because that's what the what is it? I guess you would say like those levels of the heavens are
Mhm.
different portals because
Mm.
like you'll have one dome and then you'll be in another dome, like not another dome, but you'll be in a higher level of
Yeah.
the dome until you actually reaches
The highest
the
level.
highest, which is I guess God's throne.
Yeah,
They say,
or where he lives.
or where he lives, or if he's a she or he, whatever.
Yeah, whatever you believe.
Yeah.
I don't know, but so whenever you're looking at like there's a guy that I look up that pops up on my TikTok a lot. He's a black gentleman, very educated. He talks about like Nibiru. He talks about the emerald stones. He talks very calm.
Yeah.
He was in man, I forget his name, but he's very very intelligent, and when he talks about it's like, man, I wonder because when he talks about like the Nephilim and
Oh,
the
okay.
and he talks about what were those people that were from not Babylonia, but like the ones that have statues in Iraq with the little like they're carrying, it looks like a little purse, the Anunnaki.
Anunnaki. Oh.
So when he
okay.
talked about, he says that they think that people traveled from Nibiru, came here, whether it's from a portal or however the heck they got here, and they started because their planet was being destroyed and they needed gold, but they needed a force. That's why they brought the Nephilim. But then the Nephilim revolted against them, which then they destroyed, and then they started changing, or the monkey, they genetically modified them. Because even in our DNA, when they started looking into it, like whenever, because like Adam and Eve, right, they lived for like 900 years. Like
Yeah.
if you go in the Bible, and I think it's actually 900 years, because these people, like the Aztecs, everybody like, oh, dude, they had the best calendar known to date. It's
Yeah.
better, it's even more accurate than the Roman calendar, which we are based off of, right? So these ancient people weren't dumb. They knew about stars and solar systems
No, they
before
were
we
way
even
smarter.
freaking
Yeah, they were way smarter
They
than
had
we were.
technology that we probably didn't even know about, right?
Mhm.
So then it's they found a molecule, or I don't remember what it's called, but that has caps to where it caps your lifespan to 80, and they started removing it on mice, and they lived 3 times longer. So then that would make sense of back
Yeah.
then why they lived so long. And he even talks about in the Bible that he was gonna, like, he saw the iniquity of men that was getting too great, so he was gonna put a cap. They went from 900 years, and then then it went 500, and then after the flood, they're like, we're gonna cut yours to max 80 or 120, something like that, which is about the average
Yeah.
people
Well,
that
even
we live
even
now.
like Noah and like some of the first Judas, people like that, they all lived past.
Yeah, they're like
500
500,
years.
500, 600 years. So
That's
that's like,
crazy.
dude, can you imagine living that long?
I don't know.
But I wonder how your body would change over.
I don't think it
Well,
would change that
no,
fast
I
because your
think it-
cells,
yeah.
your cells will
They keep
regenerate. I
reproducing.
think, I think I could be wrong, but if I am, please correct me in the, but I believe every 7 years you're a completely new
you're-
human.
Yeah. Because look
Right.
at the people nowadays. Like you'll see like some Asian people in their 40s, and
Dude, they look
they
20s.
look like they're in their 20s,
Yeah.
and you'll have like people who are in their barely 20 turning 29 looking like they're 42.
Yeah.
Like
crazy.
I could see
Yeah.
it happening, like what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Like it's very possible.
It's just genetics, you know,
Yeah.
depending on the like even like Native Americans, the dude they freaking age well. Like you look, oh, how do you're
Yeah.
60? Damn, you look
I
like
don't even know
40
the
or
chemicals
30.
that we eat now.
Well, that's very true.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, like
Natural.
all our water is all the like right now you're drinking the plastic water, all
Purified
the
water is just
all the all the
purified
all the
tap water.
microplastics that you're drinking.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's
it's
what
all
they sell in the shop.
yeah.
But
I mean,
going back to the eclipse, I saw this other video where the moon was exiting,
Mhm.
but so when the moon comes in, the sun has a crest, right?
yeah.
Whether it's leaving or entering,
Right.
the sun's gonna have the crest.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, on the video I saw, it looked like the sun was eating the moon. Like the moon
Mm.
wasn't going anywhere. It was the sun
Like
making-
Yeah.
overcoming.
Yeah, like
overcoming
yeah.
Yeah.
the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Like-
there was nothing like here's the sun and here's the moon and you didn't see the moon come
Yeah,
out.
you just
Yeah,
see
you
it,
just-
the
you
sun
just
will
see
get
the
brighter.
The sun come and get brighter and brighter.
So on this, so I do have a question. You think on a lot of this, especially how technology has advanced, like deep fakes and stuff like that, how many of these videos you think are real? Because I actually took some video on my camera, and there's certain parts where you can like see like something happening with the sun during the, where it
Yeah.
looks like flares like coming out of it. So that, but I mean that's a true. I have it on my phone. I can show you later after this podcast. But how many of these videos that we see do you think are real? Because that's a lot of questions that most people would have. Like, you know, can we trust this information? Because now even what we
So-
see could be fake.
Yeah.
So I feel like if there's, so like a lot of videos they will have a stamp date. Not
Mhm.
all of them, but most of them. And especially if someone uploads it that day of
Mhm.
when it happened, like maybe like 5 minutes later,
Mm.
you know they
Like or live.
Yeah.
or live
If
or
you-
they're
yeah.
live. Like those videos are they're pretty hard to fake.
Especially what's going on with TikTok because a lot of videos on TikTok are coming out like you can upload TikTok so fast, just like everything else. But like for some reason, TikTok is getting like hit the hardest where they want to take TikTok off.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
for
because
s-
it's a Chinese-based company.
yeah, but I honestly think that they're doing it because there's so many people out there like revealing so much truth, and TikTok is like so fast and
Yeah.
So
growing.
uncensored and
Yeah.
unregulated.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's pretty sensitive because I got censored quite
Well,
a
yeah,
bit of my
there's-
stuff.
there's
Like,
some
I'm like,
stuff.
there's a like, I think during the time, if I like for example, I want to get into like the election, right? That, cause I like the more I like, cause I it's like I've heard this term by Patrick Bet-David is only the paranoid survive.
Yeah,
So it's like, you know, you're paranoid, nothing happens, but then after a while you start questioning, like, man, well, is anything ever going to happen? You know, not that you want it to happen, but
Yeah.
you'd rather be prepared and be ready. You'd rather be prepared and not have to be than something like, shit, I should have been prepared and now it's too late. But it's like we're getting hit by this boat. I think we talked about it last podcast. We got hit by a cyber attack with the phones. You know, AT&T people, or you know, they all got knocked down. So it's like, are they preparing us for something worse? Kind of like if they attack our electric grid, because if they attack our electric grid, that's pretty like
Yeah.
And that
it'd be
was
left the
another
world
thing, too.
behind.
That was another thing too. Is during the eclipse, supposedly we were gonna have an EMP attack.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I did hear
That
about
they
that.
were
Yeah.
getting people were telling everybody get ready for
Yeah,
not having electricity for months,
yeah.
this and that.
Which I heard I don't know if it's a theory or
But that
something.
didn't happen either.
Yeah, I know. Thank God.
yeah.
So we wouldn't be here be doing this podcast, and the world would be a completely different state. Anyways, I heard it takes about 3 days for it to go all to just
Shit.
Yeah. Biblically wise, I honestly think we'll never know when something bad's gonna happen.
You don't
Like
think so? I think there's signs, bro.
well, in the Bible it says God like what is it like Judgment Day?
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
will never know
No,
when.
yeah, no
that,
man,
that's
no,
what,
no, not even the
yes,
angels above. No,
yes.
yeah, yeah,
That's what I mean. Like
yeah,
we
yeah.
will never know when that day will be here. But like I mean like worldwide things like going on with the government on
Yeah.
that. Like we'll either get like yes or no. We won't
Yeah.
know until
Until it's happening.
yeah it happens.
Yeah.
So it could like I honestly think it could be
You think
here,
it'll
bro.
happen in our lifetime?
Ours.
Yeah,
I feel like it would.
It could. I
I
mean,
feel like it could too.
what happened in the last? When was the last major thing besides like
I would say World War II
World War Two?
would be the because the Vietnam War was horrific.
I
But
mean,
World War II was like
we're so close to three, so
Yeah.
I mean, I can
or Russia
see
just
it.
declared
Yeah.
war with NATO and the United
Mhm.
States. One of the things that I was actually just talking to my mom about it yesterday, um, was so when I was growing up, my parents were super religious. Like we went to
Yeah.
church all the time, right? So I know quite a bit of Bible. So when I'm like looking at stuff that's happening, it always like reminds me, right? So back in the day, I would always remember when the pastor was preaching about like revelations at the end of times when there would
Mhm.
be one world coin and one world order, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. I was always wondering like because there would always be theories like oh it's gonna be the European the
Euro.
pound the euro
Mhm.
yeah or it's gonna be but now looking at it I believe this is just my opinion I think it's gonna be a digital coin because that's the only because the Bible says you won't be able to buy or sell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if you have cash, if you have anything, I can always buy something from you
So
because the
wonder-
government doesn't ever have to
So I wonder
know.
where that all happened.
When will that happen?
No, no, like who's like if you think about it, who started like this whole digital thing?
Bitcoin. It started with
No,
Bitcoin.
no, like so were they
the
were
the
Amer-
blockchain.
was it here in America that we started the Bitcoin
Kinda,
stuff?
yeah.
So
As far as I know.
Mm.
if you think about it, since America is kind of like the descendants from European, because we came
Yeah,
from
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, like you said, the European will have that one coin. So
Yeah.
if you think about it,
It's still kind of.
it's still kind of like that because
Yeah.
we didn't originate from here.
No.
We came
But
from
we're all immigrants.
yeah, we came from Europe.
Yeah.
So like if you think about it like that,
Yeah.
that could be your
Even if you go all the way back, the people that crossed the what's that called the bridge from the Russia to
Mhm.
Alaska that came down
The
that
natural
now
bridge.
the
Yeah.
natural bridge that are now Native Americans they came from that pretty much Europe, but like right now the United States this was just a theory is I think trying to inflate the dollar so much to where they're like it's gonna collapse it, and they're like
Mhm.
we're gonna transition from the dollar to this USD, which is
Yeah.
which from there they can track every single thing. Like now I can't pay y'all $1,000 for example,
Mhm.
and the government will never know. You can go buy a TV, you can go buy whatever,
Yeah.
and you don't have to pay no taxes.
Yeah.
But if it's a digital, everything is tracked. I'll give you money. Oh hey, Oscar paid you $1,000. That's you owe
Yeah.
us some money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
We're
mean?
gonna tax you. On
That
Yeah.
or it can become like China to where they're like, oh, you were talking mess about the government. This month you can't buy meat or you already expend all your money on like in China I think this is happening. You can only eat so much meat a month or not a month I think a week. So if you over exceed that then that for the rest of those days you can't eat meat. You got to go eat rice or whatever the government tells you can eat.
Mhm.
So they'll have total control.
I mean, we're already getting there. We have Cash App, Zelle. We have
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah,
already.
that's what I'm
Apple
saying.
Pay.
Like, who carries cash? It's very minimal, and some
Yeah.
places aren't even taking cash anymore.
And then I know with Cash App, if you're over $600 tax, you get taxed.
Really?
Well, not no more.
Really?
Not no more.
Mhm.
They did do that, but then because they fought it
Mm.
and they won. Cash App
Oh.
won.
Because that would be too much.
Well, because mom,
1099
people,
is-
Yeah,
like
you'll
college
get your
kids,
1099.
yeah, college kids were needing money, and that would be the only way for them to get.
Yeah,
money.
because 600 is so low.
Yeah.
Bro. It's nothing.
So I'm pretty sure they dealt away with that unless you have
Yeah.
a business
Mm.
through
Right.
Cash App. So
Because what was it before 9,000? I think 9,000 after that you have to report.
I don't know.
I believe
think
that's
so.
what it used to be.
Probably. Yeah.
Gosh, it's way better than 600.
Yeah, can you
That's
imagine?
insane.
You do one job, one fuel pump, and that's it. You gotta be paying. You gotta be paying taxes on it if they pay your cash. But this election, what do y'all think? Okay, first of all, who do y'all think is gonna win, Biden or Trump? And if they see it going that way, do y'all think there's going to be like an election fraud or election tampering?
Well, how many frauds have we had?
I mean,
Supposedly.
supposedly quite a bit.
Okay,
you know?
then. I mean, they could redo it again, but I don't know. Like, I was never for Trump whenever he first came out. Then I saw like the
2026,
the things he
16.
started like talking about. Like, how I see it is, I guess Trump came out and was started to tell the truth about a lot of things, and
Yeah,
I guess the
showing
higher-
what's behind the curtains.
yeah, a lot of people didn't like that, and I guess like now they're making him try to look like the bad guy. So I mean, I don't know how I see it. I think Trump had like a when he was in his time. I think a lot of things were a little better,
Yeah,
but it wasn't the best.
right.
I mean, when was the best time? Like,
I would say during Clinton, in my opinion. I remember the economy, the gas was like 89 cents. You can buy like the Supreme or whatever for like, I think it was 99 cents, a dollar.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to the grocery store and with $100, they'll feed you for like 2 weeks.
and then when we got Trump, it was similar to that.
Yeah, it was
but
starting to get way
it
better.
was getting way better.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was getting way
similar to
better.
that.
Gas was like what, 130?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Like
120.
right, yeah, like
Mhm.
right now is like the I think the national.
Eggs weren't no goddamn $7.
bro.
Milk
That's how
wasn't no that.
if you're going on a date and a guy brings you eggs, he got moaning.
Or chickens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
chickens like
I'm gonna
God
start getting
damn.
some chickens instead of buying eggs. Freaking
Yeah.
Free chickens.
Oh shoot, get some chickens and make you some eggs, make
Yeah.
that money. But I don't know, man. It's definitely interesting times that we're living in, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, very true. I honestly think we need people who are a little younger, maybe 35
yeah,
or
younger
35
folk, yeah.
and dude, you gotta max. You gotta be.
You know
at-
who I really liked? Vivek.
Mm-hmm.
oh
He
yeah.
was young. He was, you know, I like his way of thinking. He was a business owner as well, so he kind of knew how money runs. Because one thing that I hate is when pretty much they're up there running the economy and they're not economists. They don't never run a business. They run it. They're just expending. And the more I learn about how much we're in debt, like there's no fucking way we'll ever pay that back. We're $1 trillion in debt.
We're never gonna.
But
pay
I
that
think
back.
the interest is $1 trillion. It's like, how the hell do you pay? Like, imagine, and then what's crazy is that it they just keep printing more money because that's the only way that they could pay more. It's like you paying your credit card with another credit card, and then, well, I can't pay this one, so let me continue to get credit cards until eventually you're just gonna have to go bankrupt. And if that happens, what does that even look like for the United States? Like if they default on their payments, what does that look like? Like what does that even mean for the American people? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean, it's just crazy. Some of it just doesn't make no sense. Like we make our own money, but we have no value to it anymore.
No, it's decreasing.
Like we
yeah.
have nothing. Like we don't have nothing to show. Like
yeah,
like when we had gold had some type of value.
yeah.
I mean,
Well, it still does.
oh yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
mean. But like back in the day, they would use gold for everything because
Yeah.
you can go and mine it and all that
Mhm.
stuff. And what was it like? It's the purest thing. Like
Yeah.
one of
Well,
the purest thing.
Well, the reason why it's so valuable is because you can use it for so much things.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
For example, for your computer, you need it for your cell phones, for your
Yeah.
cars, electronics. It just there's a lot of good resources that it needs. Silver is the same way. I think it's because it's a conductor.
It
It's
is,
the best
yes.
conductor that it's on this planet, right?
Yeah.
It's gold,
Yeah.
then silver, and then copper, and then it just goes down the.
I think it's
periodic
copper
table?
before silver, but yeah.
I don't
Something
know.
like that.
Something like that. I don't know. But I know gold is the number one,
Yeah.
the best.
It's just so expensive to use.
Well, I think it's because there's so little on the.
And
On
you
the
don't
planet,
even-
there's-
yeah,
there's
you don't
only
even need
finite
that much.
resources.
Well, that's from what we've discovered so far. So I
Yeah.
mean, there could be gold anywhere that we haven't even been to.
Yeah, that's true.
Then how is digital money gonna have so much value to it?
See, that's one thing I never understood. I never, because they call it,
Yeah.
I'm mining for a bit, and it's just doing a mathematical equation to achieve an answer to get a Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
So then my thing is like, well, if you got that, like I don't get how they're like the person that created Bitcoin is like, oh, there's only I forget how many, let's say 20 million. I don't remember the number, but it's like, if he created it, couldn't he create more?
Yeah.
Like it does. That's the part that I never understood, and I don't get how a computer's just in there mining and, oh, you got a Bitcoin and you gotta. I think that's the
It
kind
runs
of
through code.
yeah, it runs through code.
Mhm.
But like, where's the code? Like it's just out there in the universe, and it's just like You get that's the thing that maybe I'm too dumb
Yeah.
to understand.
Well,
I don't have
I
the
guess
capacity.
it's like, where's the value out of that?
Yeah, like-
where like, what can I use? What I mean, like, you can use Bitcoin for money, but what is the value that I'm getting out of it, and what does it do for me? Like you know how gold is conductive and it does all these
Yeah,
things
yeah.
for you. What is this equation, like you were saying? What does it do for me just to give me something that
Nothing.
not physically real
It
and
isn't.
doesn't do nothing?
It isn't because, for example, let's say we do get a attack and the power goes out.
Mm.
Well, how can you use your Bitcoin?
Exactly.
Like the power worldwide, not just United States. Worldwide, the power goes out, or we get an AMP and all your shit gets fried.
Yeah.
All those Bitcoins you had, all these hard drives, they're fried. You just lost however much you thought you had.
Mm-hmm.
But if you actually had it in gold and silver and
Yeah.
platinum and all that, you have tangible stuff, land, even cars. Like some cars
you
are.
probably wouldn't even own because you don't even own land.
Don't get into that. That's
Yeah.
a different topic.
Yeah.
That's like buying a house and you still don't own it.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you own the property
You-
taxes.
yeah, exactly.
Which if you go into
I
that,
feel like,
that
gold,
shouldn't.
gold and silver would be more tangible.
Yeah.
That's just
But even that, it's hard to. I think the people that are really into gold, the compared to like the Bitcoin people say, well, it's really hard to travel with the gold. Like for example, if you're moving from the United States to the UK and you have $100 million in gold and you have $100 million in Bitcoin, he's like, I can transfer the $100 in Bitcoin, no problem. But the problem is when you have $100 million in gold, it's so heavy. It takes so cost effective to transfer.
It's harder to transfer.
harder to
I would
transfer.
think that's more valuable because
Yeah.
you have to do more to
More
get
work, exactly.
to get something that's
Yeah.
so much more value into it when you have something so easy just to transfer.
Yeah. I
Like-
agree. I don't disagree at all.
Like
I don't
s-
understand
I
it.
said, like it'll transfer. Like you don't even have to do anything. You just press a button and it transfers. Well, then physically you won't be able to touch it. Or-
Right.
That's how I see it.
Well, it's kind of like NFTs.
Yeah,
When
exactly.
NFT ever grew up, now I think it blew up, right? Like now they're like worthless,
No,
or
there's some stuff.
they're still well that, and they were like selling digital real estate, where like you can live next to Snoop Dogg, and for like $1 million,
I
they're
think
like,
that was just a
that.
game.
yeah, but people were spending real money.
Yeah.
Well, it's
true.
like the Fortnite skins, or it's like everything else,
yeah.
like Pokemon card, any Pokemon cards, pops, all these stuff. Like they're getting value to them. Like
Yeah, I guess it's just a rarity of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just even if someone creates it, he can stop making it. That's what makes it rare or more.
I mean, that is very
Valuable.
true.
But then everything is rare. If you think about it, I can go into this wall and make a fucking thing, and it's rare. It's the
Yeah,
only one
but
of its kind.
But it's only that's based off of you that you're not
So
really,
so
you don't
some-
have a following big enough to say
So
that this
yeah.
is
there it is.
There
So
it
it
is.
is it's the influence you have, and it's the value that someone else puts on the thing.
I guess
Because that thing is
that's where-
worth less.
yeah, that's where
until
Bitcoin
somebody's
is.
like, oh, I'll pay you $100. Oh, I'll pay you 1,000, 10,000, $1 million.
So
You know what I mean?
But I think like the guy said that, or you're saying that the guy created so much of Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
So but then you had all these investors.
From what I know,
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
you
I
had all
just
these
heard.
investors, or maybe one investor put in millions and millions into it, so that would get that millionaire knows a whole bunch
Well,
of other
see,
people.
because they used to use Bitcoin for like the dark web, from what I remember.
Yeah,
From
like-
what because
so
it
was
used to be like a
untraceable.
cent.
It used to
Yeah.
be untraceable.
Well, it's still untraceable. That's the whole reason that they do Bitcoin, because they're like, no, the government can't trace it. I can transfer millions to you,
Yeah.
and the government never knows, and all
But
because
I
of the
feel like
blockchain.
that's where
the value
the
is.
value is because all these people know these people, like they're all
Yeah.
millionaires, billionaires. So and then obviously billionaires and millionaires know celebrities,
Mhm.
and then all these it goes on, trickles
Oh,
down.
Perfect transition.
Yeah.
Celebrities.
So it just
So
gets more
so
value, more
you
value.
okay? So let's transition. We had another topic. So P Diddy.
Yeah.
So do you think? Okay, do y'all think he is the other Epstein of the Hollywood,
I don't think.
where
I don't
where
think he is. I think
there was
he was
funny
just,
business
I
going
think
on?
he was just on the list, and he is probably like he's a big celebrity. He had records and all that
I
stuff.
heard he was working with the FBI to
And-
like kind of like Epstein was working
Yeah.
Well,
with
that's
the CIA.
who busted
where-
him.
Yeah, that
That's who
that's-
raided him. Was the
But did they raid him or did they take away evidence?
look, if he's how I see it, like because so Big Diddy, P Diddy was on a
Ooh,
run.
Big what? Big what? ¿Qué dijo? ¿Con qué se come eso?
So he was on the run, and apparently FBI caught him.
Yeah.
But if he's like with the FBI, like he's like cool with them, could he set up like a caught where like the FBI went in there and just got a fraud, and then like the FBI let him leave?
Well, that's what happened,
Because
right?
yeah, that was not P Diddy
Oh,
who
in
they
the
caught.
mugshot?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
No, that was
No,
not
that did
him.
not look like-
nah,
nothing
he
like
didn't
him.
have the mole right there. He looks.
So they just like implanted them like P Diddy.
Yeah.
We caught
Nobody's
him.
gonna notice.
Yeah,
Cause I didn't see him get caught or like
He never
The
did.
mugshot.
the mugshot. Yeah, I haven't seen the mugshot.
he never did. He has too much power.
That's what I'm saying. But so there's a certain like for example, Epstein probably thought that he was untouchable. There's a lot of these people
Yeah.
that think they're untouchable until they're not.
Yes.
You know. So then it's like because they're puppets. There's always somebody pulling behind the strings, and if stuff they feel like hey shit might get out. Okay, you gotta take the fall, bro. I'm sorry. You lived a wonderful life for however many years. Well, you gotta take the fall.
Just like how
Oh.
Michael Jackson. Some people say Michael Jackson took the fault so that they could get off of Epstein's back.
You think so? For the
Could
so many
be.
years?
Yeah.
'Cause
So
the-
supposedly they were gonna bust Epstein's island like long ago.
Well, there's
And
that
that's
documentary
whenever-
on it.
Well, yeah. Then that's
Well,
whenever
would
they
you-
Michael Jackson came out with all the allegations. That
Would
he
you
was
believe a
taking their
documentary on a
voice.
program?
No, not for sure.
Exactly.
But one thing that is very fascinating watching that documentary was they knew what he was doing for years.
Yeah.
Like they which to me I'm like how the heck can you not catch it? There's girls coming out, middle school girls, high school girls that are getting other girls to go give him massages, and it's like. What are you talking about? You know this was happening. How much evidence? How many people have to come out? You had like I don't know, 20 girls that have said it,
Yeah.
like, and they when they go to the house, it's exactly described how they say it. So it's like, why did you let it go on for this long? Like for, like I think, and this was in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, you barely got him in was it 2021? When was he arrested?
Well, that's how they got the. They were like, "Hey, you gotta take the hit for Epstein," you know, and then that's when they got Michael.
You think you think he's dead?
Who?
Epstein.
Who knows?
Or do you think they
Nah,
planted?
They
They
probably
probably did the same
they
thing.
probably do with a lot of
Because
people.
apparently the brother-in-law or the saying that wasn't his body when they
Yeah.
went and like saw him. Like I said, all for like from what I've heard, there's not allegedly. Let's just say allegedly it wasn't him.
It's like the whole
So,
Tupac thing.
yeah,
That
I
guy
heard
who
that,
came
yeah.
out and he looks exactly like goddamn Tupac.
And Elvis, there's a.
Oh yeah, yeah, the
Yeah.
Elvis and sings just like Elvis.
Sings
Yeah.
just like him, has the same
But
finger structure.
Yeah, this whole thing is
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty wild. Like the whole like Epstein Island having all these celebrities who do sex trafficking, and
Yeah.
there's a video on TikTok again. Yes, all our sources from TikTok.
Yeah, pretty much.
pretty much. But there's this girl, this little girl who got abducted, and she was probably about 4 or 5 years old at
Damn,
the time.
that young?
Yeah. So I forgot her name. Let's just call her Alicia.
Okay.
Let's call her Alicia. And then P Diddy adopted a girl named Alicia at this
I think I heard that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
and but he adopted her at like I guess she was saying 16 or around anywhere from 12 to 16.
Yeah.
He adopted her at that time.
Yeah.
And if you add the numbers up, that little girl was missing for that many
many
years, as old as that. And they had the same exact name. They looked exactly the same. Like if you saw that little girl and then you saw the girl.
So
Yeah.
what happened? So she disappeared like around you said four.
Yeah.
And then he adopted her. So
He
what
ad-
happened in between those 12
Those times
years?
could have like I said, that's where she could have been like sex trafficking from all those years and stuff. Because that's what happened when Justin Bieber came with P.
Yeah, I
P.
saw
Diddy.
those weird videos.
you
Where
see
he was
that
like
video?
almost like kissing them or something.
Well, he was I mean, he was doing something.
I didn't see none of it like
Well,
that.
It didn't show it. It just shows
Them
Justin
talking about
Bieber.
it.
Well, no, it does show. It doesn't show it physically, but you see
You
Justin
kinda can
Bieber
tell what is
like
happening.
coming up and just looking into the camera and going like that. Like yeah, like he was doing
Oh, I see
something.
now.
Yeah,
I
see.
remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
I know he's coming out
Like a
and said something about Kim Kardashian that he
There's a lot.
supposedly
There's a lot of things.
she's done way worse than whatever P Diddy had ever did.
There's a
So
lot-
do you think that's the one who like so the Hollywood is finally like the
They're
curtains
getting
are
to it.
finally getting open, and you're seeing what the heck is happening. between-
It's either someone is trying to get it to open, or they're just planning stuff where they want us to know and make it normal.
But do you think they're trying to distract? Because anytime you always look at, with like, for example, like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Mhm.
they're trying to
Anytime there
distract
was
us from
something
else.
big happen, even with the Epstein case, when
Yeah.
something when there was like court, oh, something big happened where they would distract you. It's like a
Yeah.
magician. Look over here while we're
Yeah.
doing some shady crap over here.
Mm-hmm.
So you think that's happening again?
It
Where
could be. You never know.
Yeah, because all these Nickelodeon stars are coming out too.
Exactly.
Nickelodeon what?
Like
Nickelodeon
with Drake,
kids.
Drake Bell. What's her name? The one Sam, Sam and Cat. That girl that was on iCarly.
See, I never.
Sam
opened
Puckett
to
or-
her.
Sam, yeah. Well,
What's
her-
I
what's
don't know
her
her
character
name.
name? Jeanette
Something.
McCarty.
Yes.
What was her name?
Jeanette McCarty.
And then
Who's that?
she was on one of the shows,
one of the
but
shows,
like
Nickelodeon.
most of those girls they didn't get violated.
Amanda
They got
Bynes.
violated, but they didn't get like severely violated by Dan Schneider. But there's a big rumor going around that Dan Schneider and Jamie Spears, like I guess I guess you could say raped, yeah, raped her, and because Jamie Lynn Spears' child looks exactly like Dan Schneider.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, so like
Same
that's
thing
his
with
child.
Amanda Bynes.
Yeah, and Amanda
she got
Bynes.
impregnated, and they told her like you gotta get rid of it.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
and they're saying it was also Dan Schneider, but who
Mhm.
knows? It was on the it's on a documentary on Netflix. If you want to
I
watch
want
it.
to say that like, all that stuff kind of makes sense because like most of these people once they're super wealthy, they're rich, right?
Well,
All
look-
these people are coming to them because they want an opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well you have this opportunity, you got.
And it was back in the '90s. It was like the golden era of
Mhm.
when kids want to be TV
Well,
stars.
well, that and back in the day where you can
90s
hide
and
all that
2000s.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there wasn't no social media. It was just the only place you can you see people is on TV.
But yeah, if you watch, there's a show on Netflix and it pretty much explains.
What's it
from-
called
Yeah.
for the audience and?
I don't remember what it was called.
But it is on. It is on
on
Netflix.
Netflix,
yeah.
But
Why do you think Netflix is doing all these documentaries like that are coming out like?
That's
of,
how they've always been, I think.
yeah.
You think
Well,
so?
who knows? They could be part of the government, and they like I said, they want to open the curtain to us and show us and make it normalized, just like with the
Mm.
gay, not the gays, but the
Trans?
trans people. They want to normalize it and make it like it's normal.
See, but that's a slippery slope because, like, for example, with the trans, right? For example, it's a mental thing that they're saying.
Exactly.
I'm a woman, right?
Well-
so then what's it take to say that? Oh, you're 15, you're 14.
Yeah,
that's
that's-
the same thing. It's
that's
to say,
the-
or change race. I'm black or I'm
Well,
white or whatever.
That's what they're saying with the people who have who are like what is it, where it's a like an older guy like us,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and
Or even older,
they're-
50,
50 or
60s,
60,
yeah.
70, and they're turned on by seeing like 13-year-old girls in
Yeah, yeah.
shorts or a kid.
Yeah.
They're trying to get that to where it's normal.
Mm.
Like they're saying it's like a disease in their head. Well, no, they're trying to say it's a disease in
not a
their head,
disease
but
in
it's
it.
not, and it's
Yeah.
just like
That's
how
just their
trans,
preference or
yeah,
whatever. Yeah, yeah.
it's their trans and stuff, and they're trying to get that to be normalized, like that's okay, but in all reality, it's not.
Yeah.
So who knows, man? Stuff gets crazy.
But that's I don't know, man. I think, and then that goes back to like biblical times where it says that at the end times, the the world will be like Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
I know how to say it in Spanish, but I think that's how you say it in English. Where there people would be married, and then people would marry the same sex and all that.
That's
stuff.
what is it? Nixon, he said that on one of his speeches about the devil will come out, and then you'll have all these diseases, and then
was that where like they showed Joe Rogan and it was like a prophet and he's like, what the?
that was
Like,
that was
yeah,
Nixon
like,
talking. Yeah,
that was Nixon?
Yeah, that was Nixon saying all
Wow.
that
He
stuff.
said how the
Well, he's-
government would make you watch all these programs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've
He's-
heard of perverted programs that
Perverted
make you know.
programs.
Yeah, I heard
'Cause
because I
devil-
saw that
yeah.
video on TikTok.
Yeah, that was
the man
Nixon
will marry
saying
the
it.
man and the women will
You
marry the
marry-
woman.
You will have all these different types of diseases and stuff. I am the devil, and he's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's what he was saying.
That was Nixon.
That was
It was
Nixon.
how would the devil conquer the world? or
Yeah.
take
Yeah,
over
yeah.
the world?
Yeah.
He would first start. He'd say, hey, "This is how I would do it. I would first start with with religion."
I will continue the way what we're doing
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
And
So
it's
pretty much
crazy.
everything he said back in the 80s or whatever is pretty
There's-
much what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. He like pretty much became a prophet
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
a sense. He
I mean-
got it right on the money.
They no, he did. Like, it's crazy how you can look back at history, real history or like physical videos of history of people saying stuff, and then now you look today and like that stuff is happening.
Yeah.
Like it's wild. It's pretty crazy, man.
Man, I don't know. That almost like speechless just to think about like how like do you want kids?
I do, but like
It's hard, right?
it's
Like
hard.
especially
It's hard to wire. Like how I see it is like, why would I put a person in this world how it is? But then again, like you never know. My kid could save this world.
yeah, yeah.
So
How about you? How about you, Joe?
Same.
So I'm the
Yeah.
same way, and it's harder because it's like, man, you see the world, and it's like, damn, is it gonna get any better?
yeah,
Like, are we going to? Because it almost feels like we're digressing. Like
mm,
we're going back. Like we were doing so well, and then it's like, oh, we have our prosperity has gone so good that it's like, oh, well, let's make up stuff to fight over,
Mhm.
and we can't just live in harmony and live in like, hey, we're all Americans. We all
yeah,
what do we want? We all want to be wealthy, be able to live our dreams, have the vehicles that we want, live in the house that we want, make sure just
yeah,
take the vacations that we want. If that's working for a company or having your own company, however you can achieve it,
Mhm.
that's the American dream, right?
yeah,
That's why a lot of people come to this country to be able to have the opportunity to fail. That's what it is.
yeah.
You get the options because in some countries they don't give you the options to be able to start your own business and potentially make it or potentially fail. Um, but I feel like we're slowly taking away those options for us to be able to succeed and fail, and to the point where like government will be like, oh well, you don't like you can't say that because that's well you get canceled, or that's not how we do things here, or you know what I mean? I don't know.
Mm.
It's definitely
How I see it is like whenever all this stuff started, it had to go way back to where I don't know, 1800s, where they made this system for us to
so
fail.
yeah.
Like they did it on purpose to fail, to continuously, I guess, grow their like their roots and stuff, to have like their people always on top.
Yeah. So when you said the 1800s, right, it kind of brought me back to the Declaration. Was it the Declaration? Or was it the 1776?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. How? So let's travel in time and go back to that time. Do you think, and right now, right, if we were to become, if the government were to become tyrannical, do you think there's enough brave people? Which I'm not calling for violence. I'm not calling anything. But if or how much courage does those people had to take? Because they were on the they were if they were to lose, they were gonna get killed
Yeah.
because what they were doing is committing treason.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
Against
mean?
British or Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah, against Britain because they wanted to separate from Great Britain. Like, hey, you're no longer your interests are no longer in our best interest.
Mhm.
Like, you want to tax us, you're not even here. You're not ruling us.
Yeah.
So it's like, how ugly does it have to be get to for that to even happen again? And do people even have the courage to?
Nowadays,
Yeah,
nowadays,
nowadays.
no one does. Everybody's
Yeah.
scared.
Maybe Texas.
Maybe
Texas,
Texas, Florida,
Yeah, Texas,
maybe,
Florida, like
Tennessee,
all these
or the Southern
Republic
states.
states.
Yeah.
I think they all might have a more of a fighting.
Why do you
chance.
think that is?
I don't know, because we were the
'Cause-
states who did it back in the day too.
That and this most of these states are like country driven. Like
Yeah.
they all know how to fend for themselves and make their own stuff.
Mm,
And all these other cities that are like democratic cities are all cities. Like they've
Yeah, yeah.
they never done hunted or fished
Yeah.
or anything. They never made anything for themselves. All they do is live in these big crowded cities and
yeah, very
Yeah,
depend
'cause-
on the government to take care of them.
Because that's one thing that's been on my mind lately too. Is like, how the Second Amendment is pretty much under attack constantly, and it's like, at what point do we let history repeat itself to where that's kind of what happened with the Jews, and Hitler slowly started taking away. It's like how do you boil a frog? You do it slowly. You slowly start taking away rights. Like, oh, you had these privileges, but now you're no longer like, for example, during COVID, that was one of the biggest times that you lost all
Yeah.
your freedoms. You had a curfew. You had to stay 6 feet away from people. Even if your loved ones, your wife, your husband, your girlfriend, your child could be dying, and you could not go see them in their last moments
Well, not now
because
in,
government issues said not.
now in New York, they're doing something like that to where, if they
Again?
feel, yeah, they're doing it to where they'll put you in a camp. You have no say so.
Yeah, I saw that. I
No
heard that.
say so at all.
For
Where
any
they-
disease or
any
anything that
disease,
they,
anything
yeah.
they think they can keep you for as long as they want, no matter what age you are, no matter what.
Bro,
sex
that
you
sounds
are.
like freaking
Population
Korea,
could-
bro.
that
That
sounds
sounds like
like-
North
And
Korea.
They can come and take you at any point in given time with no warrant, no nothing.
It sounds
they
like
just
population control.
take you to wherever, to get you.
That sounds like North Korea to me.
Yeah, and that's in New York. People.
I don't think that would ever fly here, in my
Nah.
opinion.
No.
But why does that happen in New York? How
'Cause
how
it's
the long
Condensed. It's
well
all
that but
condensed.
the
and they're on the
the
island.
laws of the gun laws are very strict. Like over there, pretty much it's like us getting our class 3 here, which is fully auto guns that you can, buy. That's how difficult it is to get a regular,
Yeah.
handgun just to be able to protect you yourself and
You
your
have to
family.
jump through so many hoops, and then
Yeah.
on top of that, you gotta know people.
Yeah, know people that know people that know people. But yeah, guys, with that, it's just something to food for thought. Definitely the way where our country's headed. Hopefully it gets better, and always think that the future looks bright. With that, guys, always remember subscribe to Sean's channel,
Subscribe to
Inspired Dreams. Help him get to 500.
Subscribe to the podcast.
Peace out.
Later, guys.
Have a great one.